Hello, welcome back. So now we will start our lecture. This is the content that we are going to discuss in this lecture. So first we will get introduced with the slab and we will see what are some of the facts about the slab, and we will see these two slabs, what is one-way slab, two-way slab, and we will design an example. So basically slab are like a structural plate element, and they are generally used to cover an area, or they act as a horizontal enclosure of the building. So the slab can be a floor slab, it can be roof slab, and it can be in of any shape. It can be in the rectangular plane, it can be in the triangular plane, it may be trapezoidal, or it may be circular. It may be of any shape in the as a plane. And slab can be simply supported, it can be fixed, it can be hinged, or it can be continuous over the supports. So based on the fixity on the ends, it is classified as simply supported, fixed, hinged, or continuous. And based on the aspect ratio, slab can be defined as a one-way slab and two-way slab. So in the one-way slab, generally bending occur along, bending occur only along one of the span. So as you can see, there are two span of the slab, this one and this one. So in this case, in the one-way slab, generally bending will occur along this span only, because this end is already supported. So generally it is not occurring along the this span. So when the bending occur only along the one direction, then we call the slab as one-way slab. And if bending is occurring along the shorter span, along the longer span, or along the both direction, like in this figure you can see a slab is bending along this span and also along this span. So in that case, we call the slab as a two-way slab. Now this one-way slab and two-way slab, they are actually classified based on the aspect ratio. And there is another condition, so that we will see in the next slide. First, we will see what is some of the fact that is about the slab. The first fact is generally we design slab as a unit. We generally design slab as a beam having a unit width, which is 1 meter strip. And as you can see in the figure, as in this case, bending in the slab is occurring along both these span. So if we design slab along the shorter span, say this is the shorter span and this is the longer span. So along the shorter span, what we can do is we can divide the slab into a unit strip, like this strip. And this strip just look like a beam. So therefore, considering this strip as a beam, we can apply all the design process, all the design steps to this slab designing. I mean, all the design steps that we have used in the beam design, we can use the same steps here also. To be more specific, here you can see. So in this case, if we are designing slab taking if we are taking the shorter span under consideration, so we will have a unit strip of 1 meter width, and we will design this strip only. Similarly, if we are considering the longer span, in that case we again consider this strip, and we start designing the slab. Now here you can notice that when we are designing two-way slab in which we are considering both span strips, so in that case there will be such meeting points where the load is carried by, where the load is carried along the shorter and as well as along the longer span. So such a common meeting point will occur when we are designing slab along both the span. Then compression reinforcement generally are not provided in the slab. So that is another fact. Generally in the beam, we provide compression reinforcement in case of doubly reinforced beam design, but in case of compression, I mean, in case of slab, we generally don't provide the compression reinforcement. Similarly, the shear stress. Shear stress is also very low in case of slab. Why? Because slab is resting over a large bearing area as compared to the beam. As you can see, the whole slab is resting over this part, over this part, and over this part. So it is resting over a large bearing area. So that is why the shear stress so generated is generally less than the shear strength of the concrete. And we also provide a reinforcement in the slab. So against the bending along the shorter span and the longer span, we provide main reinforcement to resist the bending. Similarly, we provide secondary reinforcement also to counter some secondary effects in the slab, like the shrinkage effect, like the shear stress and cracks. So against those secondary effects, we generally provide temperature or distribution reinforcement. So generally, we provide temperature reinforcement at uh, at 90 degree to the main reinforcement. So for example, if main reinforcement are provided along the shorter span, then we will provide distribution reinforcement along the longer span. If we are providing main reinforcement along the longer span also, so in that case, distribution reinforcement will be provided along the both span. So we will see that when we will be designing an example. And the next fact is slabs are usually thinner than the beams. So that is again the important thing that differentiate it with the beams. Now we will first talk about the one-way slab. Generally, a slab is designed as a one-way slab under some of the conditions. So we will see what is that condition. The first condition is when it is supported on two opposite sides and free on the other two. So in that case, bending of the slab due to design load will take place only along the supported span. We can see that using the figure. Yes. So in that case, you can see this slab is supported only along these two ends, this and this. And therefore, bending will always occur along this span only. It will never occur along this span because the support is already present. So therefore, this kind of slab will be designed as a one-way slab. Similarly, the second condition is when it is, when there will be aspect ratio difference, when the aspect ratio of the slab will be more than or equals to 2. Well, Ly is the longer span of the slab and Lx is the shorter span of the slab. So when their ratio will be greater than or equals to 2, then in that case also we will be designing one-way slab. And in this case, though some portion of the slab bend in the longitudinal direction near the shorter edge for design load carrying purpose, it is assumed to bend only along the shorter span. So when this aspect ratio is there, which is more than 2, so in that case, bending may takes place along the longer span also, but generally we assume that bending will occur along the shorter span and it will not occur along the longer span. But as it is written here, generally you can see here, this is the slab and the longer span of the slab is represented as Ly and the shorter span is represented as Lx, and the bending pattern is also shown here. So along the shorter span, slab is bending like this, which is having the positive moment. Now along the longer span, the bending between this stretch, it is constant. Bending is occurring between this span only. So generally we avoid this span and generally we provide temperature reinforcement or secondary reinforcement along the longer span in this case. So this temperature reinforcement generally takes care of the bending which is occurring between this span and this span. So which means in case of one-way slab, we will assume that bending moment will occur only along the shorter span in this condition. So there you can see the bending is varying along the span, along the whole span in the shorter case. But in this case, bending is constant between BC, but it is varying between AB and CD. So this bending will be taken care of by providing the secondary reinforcement, which is the temperature reinforcement. So that is the case of one-way slab. We will not be designing one-way slab in our course. We will be designing only two-way slab. So now we will understand what is two-way slab. Now, two-way slab is the slab when in this case, when the slab is supported on all the sides, all four sides, and the ratio of longer to shorter span is less than 2. So in case of one-way slab, Ly and Lx will be greater than or equals to 2. So that is the case of one-way. But in case of two-way slab, Ly by Lx ratio will be less than 2. So that will be known as two-way slab. So that is the classification based on the aspect ratio. Now, in case of two-way slab, bending will occur along both the span, and we actually consider it in our design. So here you can see bending is occurring along this span, along this span. So we will design the slab along the shorter span and along the longer span also, which means there will be some significant amount of moment present along the shorter span as well as along the longer span. And we provide main reinforcement for the slab along shorter and longer span as well. Now, due to bending of slab along both the span, the design load on any point, that is on any common unit area crossed by two mutually perpendicular strips of unit width, is shared by both of the span. So as I have explained this earlier, generally we design slab as a unit strip. So because in case of two-way slab, we will be considering unit strip for both the span. So as you can see, this is the unit strip considered for the shorter span, say, and this is the unit strip considered for the longer span. But in case you can see these both of the strip are meeting at this point. So what does it mean? It means that the load on this square will be shared along the longer span, along the shorter span at the same time. So that is the point it is trying to convey. Now, two-way slab is also classified in two categories. One is called the simply supported slab. Now, what is the meaning of simply supported slab? In this case, there is no adequate provision to resist the torsion at corners and to prevent corners from lifting. What does it mean? It means when the load is there, say for example, load is there, what will happen? The corner of the slab, all four corners of the slab will try to lift up. Now, if there is no provision to prevent this lifting, in that case, these corners will lift up and the load carrying capacity of the slab will be less, and therefore such kind of slab is classified as simply supported, which means there is no adequate provision to prevent this lifting, and therefore the corners of the slab will try to twist because of the variation of the load, and this twisting will occur because of the torsion. So there is not enough provision to prevent this torsional movement. So that is the case of simply supported slab. Now, second classification of the slab is called restrained slab. And in the restrained slab, generally the corner of the slabs are prevented against the lifting. So these may be prevented by constructing a floor above it, or by partially fixing by constructing a wall, or any or by providing the reinforcement against the torsion. So that is the case of restrained slab, in which the corners are prevented from lifting. So we will discuss more about the restrained slab in the next lecture. We will be designing restrained slab in the next lecture. In this lecture, we will be mainly focused on simply supported slab. So this simply supported slab is generally provided in an isolated room of single story room. In case of multi-storied room, all the slabs are considered as restrained slab. So now simply supported slab. So as I have discussed, this slab is generally used in isolated roof slab for individual room in single story building. And the corners will lift up when the load will come down, and therefore the load carrying capacity of the slab is also less as compared to the restrained slab. So corners of the slab are twisted and lift upward from the support when the slab are loaded. Now, in case of simply supported slab, the moment which is generated in the simply supported slab can be calculated using the IS code clause clause D 2.1, and the equations to calculate the moment along the shorter span, along the longer span is already provided in the IS code. So moment along the shorter span, generally we will representing the x-axis as the shorter span and y-axis as the along the longer span. So bending moment along the x-axis, which is the shorter span, we can calculate that using these parameters. Similarly, if we have to find out bending moment along the longer span, actually, in that case also we can calculate the value of my using this formula. Well, you will be surprised that in both the formula Lx is used. Well, yes, in both the formula Lx will be used because we intentionally want that the maximum bending moment should occur along the shorter span. By doing so, we will be actually designing our slab as an economical design. By chance, if we provide Ly here, then bending moment along the y-axis may be higher. So higher the bending moment, higher the thickness of the slab will be required. So therefore, we intentionally provide, we intentionally put this value Lx in the formula. Actually, this value is actually given in the IS code, but the intention behind the formula, behind putting the Lx in both the cases, is that we want that maximum bending moment should occur along the shorter span. Shorter is the span, lesser will be the width. So in this case, alpha x is the bending moment coefficient, and this coefficient can be calculated using the table 27, which is provided in the IS code. I will show you this table and these two formula. And mx, my are the bending moments along the x direction, along the y direction. And Lx and Ly, Lx is the effective shorter span, Ly is the effective longer span. So now first I will show you these formula and table in the IS code, and then we will move to further. So referring the IS code, IS 456, so we can refer to this annexure D. And in the annexure D, D1 is about the restraint slab. Now calculation of bending moment using the same formula in this restraint slab will also be done. Now we will move to D2, which is about the simply supported slab, which we are talking about. So that is the simply supported slab. So referring this clause D2.1, if we go to the next page, we will have those two formula that I am talking about. Yes. So to calculate the bending moment along the x direction, we will use this formula. Similarly, to calculate bending moment along the y direction, we will use the same formula. And in the formula, you can see Lx is provided in both the formula. And this is the table 27. So in the table 27, we will find the value of alpha x and alpha y. Now alpha x and alpha y is dependent on the aspect ratio, which is Ly by Lx. So based on the aspect ratio, we will have alpha x and alpha y value. For example, if the aspect ratio is 1.5, so in that case, alpha x will be 0.104. And if we, in case of alpha y, we will have 0.046. So this is how we will be calculating the table, calculating that alpha x and alpha y using the table. By chance, if we have aspect ratio in between these value. For example, if we have aspect ratio as 1.25, so 1.25 will lie between 1.2 and 1.3. So in that case, we will be doing interpolation. So that we will see how we do that in the design example. So I have provided the table here also. So we will be using table this one to calculate the alpha x and alpha y. Now what is W? W is the load unit load on the unit strip per unit length. Lx is the effective span along the shorter span. So that is the theory. In the next part, we will take an example and we will solve how do we do that. That we will do in the next part.